going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, however you are consuming this podcast. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Today's show is presented by the Law Office of William Mattar. Heard in a car, call William Mattar, 444-4444. Call William Mattar today to get the compensation that you deserve. This is our Monday podcast on the video side. We are live here shortly after 9 p.m. on Sunday night. Handful of hours ago, the Buffalo Bills defeat on the road the New England Patriots 35-31. Unlike John Cena, the Bills did not tap out and submit this game. Bills come back. They erased a 21-point deficit. This 21-point comeback by the Bills is the largest by a visiting team in the entire history of Gillette Stadium. The Patriots had entered this game with a 120-game win streak when they were playing at home and having at least a 17-point lead. That's gone. The Buffalo Bills, 10-4, still live now. Very important. Still live in the AFC East. Unofficially punched their ticket to the playoffs. As usual for these post-game reaction shows, I am joined by Joe in Queens. We'll call him Joe in Queens today, man. What's going on, dude? How you doing?
Living the dream, man. I'm doing well. Fun game today. And yeah, it was I was at a Bills backers bar, the one that's by my house at Murphy's, and I met a couple of the Bills backers, and one of them good. It was fun. Good time, good vibes. They had a raffle at halftime where you could win a Bills vest, which was pretty cool. I did not win, sadly. And the guy, one of the guys who runs it, his name's Ricky, is a listener to our show, and he was like, "Oh, I know." He knew my face. You know, it's a face for television because it's beautiful and streaming. And he was like, how's that Pat? I'm like, he's a jerk off, but you know, I do the best I can with him. I'm like John Cena trying to make $1 million match with Kozlov when it comes to the podcast with you. But someone is asking, like, what am I drinking? I am drinking. So today, this is going to be a 2-beer podcast, I feel. So the first half is going to be called, this is a Boulevard 7 Brewing Company. It's from Kansas City, Missouri. It's an American Saison. I'm drinking this to dedicate it to the Chiefs, the end of the Chiefs season. You know, it's over for them. So that's going to be the first half beer, I would say, because their season is done. And I don't want to say I'm celebrating it, but it's just, it's crazy that they're done. And that's it, you know?
It really is. Shout out Mazvids, Tooch, our guy Tooch, Ralph Wilson in the house, Alex Barber, bunch of regulars here on the video live chat side. Appreciate everybody. Doug, everybody stopping in. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, some good, some bad. But again, the most important thing, and I'll tell you what, I was talking to, actually having a text conversation with Tone Bucks a while ago.
Oh, wow. You see, he's back. You see, he's back.
He's back to get rid of him. My heart, man. Tone Bucks is back in my heart. But in all seriousness, this went from at first just feeling good about the team. Like, this was a feel-good win for the Bills. Like, a road win, a tough opponent. You feel better about the team, and we'll talk about that some throughout this show. But not lost in all this is just straight up the AFC East. The Bills, by winning this game, and they're still not favored to win the AFC East. Let's not get that twisted, but they're at 37% right now per next-gen stats to win the East. If they would have lost, it would have been literally at 0. I mean, the Bills probably need to win out, but more importantly, they need New England to lose either in Week 17 at the Jets or at home against Miami in Week 18. Neither of those games are likely, but hey, man, you never know. So the Bills still have life in terms of the AFC. That should be the biggest takeaway from this game. And just the comeback, dude. The win probability at this game at one point was as low as 8.9%. That's pretty wild. Let me start you off with a little bit of a pop culture reference here for everybody listening to the show. You know, I'm an 80s dude. I love everything 80s. Let me take it back. I cannot take credit for this. I got to admit this. I got to give some love to my wife here. She's the one who popped this reference on me. Rocky 3. Do you remember Rocky 3?
Yes, of course. It's an overrated movie, but go ahead.
That is an absolute stupid take if I've ever heard one.
It's over fucking rated. It's one of the worst
Take.
Rockets. Stupid. Sorry, it's overrated.
So,
overrated.
in the movie, of course, Clubber Lang beats his ass in the first match, but then Rocky wins the rematch. That's the short of it. But, the more nuanced part of it is Rocky got in great shape for the rematch and kind of let Clubber Lang punch himself out in the fight. And you thought it was over. And Paulie in the corner and Apollo are talking. Apollo's always getting killed out there. And Paulie goes, no. He's not getting hurt. He's getting mad. That's kind of like the Buffalo Bills in this game. They kind of let Clubber Lang punch out early in the fight, and then the Bills took over late in the fight. I think that's a pretty good reference, man. Rocky 3. And don't ever, come on, man. What are you talking about that the movie is overrated?
It's overrated.
It's a great movie, and it's a great reference. The Bills just took the best that New England had to offer in the first half and were the better team in the second half. They were punched out in the second half, and the Bills took over the game from there. I cannot believe you don't like that reference. Everyone in the live chat, what do you think?
No, it was a good reference. Fine. It was a good. Someone just mentioned in the chat, it went up in my thing, that they've been keeping track of your ball washing this week. So I definitely want details for whoever's been keeping track of the ball washing. Yeah, look, it was yes, I guess you could call it freaking Rocky 3 in terms of like them punching themselves out, I guess.
What was the vibe like at the bar, Joe? Let me ask you that, because let's talk about how shitty the game was. Like, did it feel to you personally, was this game over by the end of the second quarter? Did it feel over to you personally? Did it feel over the vibes, the environment at the bar that you watched the game? Like when the Bills went into the locker room down 24-7, what were you feeling?
Well, to steal a Stallone quote from Rambo, nothing is over. Nothing. I guess that's kind of how, we just sat there because I was kind of hanging out with a couple of friends, and I was just like, they're a second half team. And that's the craziest thing about this team. They're a second half team. And I think I posted it in the chat earlier because I threw some stats up in the beginning of this chat. But like, when it comes to the Bills this season, they have outscored their opponents in the second half 242 to 126.
Wild.
If you can believe it. And they've also been in 7 games this season. I counted. They have given up points on the first drive to the opponent. 7 games, which they've been a notoriously slow starter. So I don't know what the deal is, but the vibes were okay because it was just like they're a second half team for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's experience, halftime adjustments, cocaine at halftime. I have no idea. I don't know. But it was an incredible. The vibes were great in it was just like it happened so fast. Like in terms of like you scored 5 touchdowns on 5 straight drives. In New England, it was just like it was deer in the headlights. And I hate to say it, and I'll give you some credit for this. Last week I laughed at you, and I still will laugh at you. How you talked about. Which we talked about what makes you feel good about the Bills heading into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you came up, and I'm going to give you the credit for it, was experience. And I felt today, and I laughed at it, and I still will laugh at it. But today, New England just looked like a team that did not have experience. They didn't know what to do when the pendulum was swinging the other way and Josh Allen was coming down the tracks and kicking their asses. And that's something you wonder, like, there's your experience you talked about, because the Bills were cool and collective, and the Patriots. I don't want to say it was, if we're doing talking New England, that could be a choke job. You lose 21 points, you blow a 21-point lead to the Bills, and they got no wide receivers, no answer to your running game. Choke job.
Can I be honest with you? I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Sure.
I thought the game was over.
Yeah.
There was no, they're going to come back. They're a second half team. I'm like, they are getting utterly embarrassed in the first half. They played about as bad as you could play in the first half. They looked like they did not belong on the same team, or the same field, I should say, as the New England Patriots. It looked in the first half to me like, here's a team. They smell blood in the water. They're hungry. They're younger. They're ready to take this division. This was going to be the T-shirt and baseball cap division game. The Bills looked like they were getting run off the field, and I thought it was completely embarrassing. I had a barrage of first half, regrettable now, but in the moment, feeling them tweets. I thought I told you, maybe it was you or someone else. I said, maybe it was Matt Rich Warren the 7th. I said, I need to stop live tweeting during games because it comes back to make me look
No.
stupid after the game. I was going absolutely ape shit on the Buffalo Bills in the first half. They were fucking pathetic for 30 minutes.
I'm glad you no-sold my compliment to you because you had to get your own shit in, as always, because I gave you compliments that they had experience, and you're just like, that's great. Let me talk about my feelings. Okay, anyways.
But, I mean, you're right.
No, you're right.
I have said that, but I thought it was over.
Okay, you're right. This is what Pat said. So, you know what? I would never listen to Talking Buffalo without me on here, or maybe if you're interviewing. Sometimes if you have a good round table of different sports bros, I'm like, maybe I'll give it a listen to. I am telling you, you need to do a halftime show because it would be hilarious if you did a 15-minute halftime show, because this is what Pat says to me. So today, I said what's up to Pat on Messenger because I just want my Messenger I felt was messed up a little bit.
I deserve this. Go ahead.
And then Pat goes, "What's up? What did you want?" And I didn't answer Pat back because I was walking into the bar and I was like, whatever. And the next thing you know, at 2:08, "What did you want? Don't be telling me no news 15 minutes before I'm supposed to do what's calling to be a psychotic fucking show. I'm going to bury this team tonight. It's things sad." I'm like, okay, buddy, I'm here. Sorry, I just didn't message. So if we would have just kept it at 24-7 at halftime, we would have had gold. You need to do a 15-minute halftime show moving forward because it would be amazing. You get so much publicity because everyone would cold take your ass. It would be hilarious, and we all know that you're a whore for attention, and that would be great. But yeah, you were fired up, and I was like, okay, dude, I'm canceling I'm not going to my party thing tonight that I told you I was going to, so I'll be there in case you wanted to have your greatest moment of all time, like Steve Austin coming to beat up the WCW guys or something. But anyways.
Do you want me to be completely honest with you? At the time,
you're never honest, but go ahead.
I sort of am. I considered this, whether the division is still in play or not, this was kind of a litmus test for the Bills in this way. We already know they've beaten the best quarterbacks in the league this year. They've played great against some really good teams. They've done that all at home. I'm like, this team, I need to see that they could play good football on the road against a real opponent. I know Pittsburgh technically is in first place right now, but I still don't consider them any kind of real opponent. The Bills have lost 3 times on the road already this year, and they've played like shit for the most part on the road this year, and then they play like complete shit in this half. And it just had me saying this team is fraudulent. And in fairness to me, Joe, now, if we did do a halftime show live, all right, I'm going to be emotional about it, but
I want a halftime show.
I did. If I would have buried them, brilliant. I would have had every reason to. I mean, listen.
And that's the thing. You're right. And I've said this before. When you're live tweeting a game, it's like being at a bar. Look, if you're watching at a bar with friends and you're losing 24-7, do you look at him and go, "Dad, they're fine. Everything's great. Don't worry about it"? But no, you're pissed off. And that's what Twitter is. It's like it's 24/7. You're doing instant reaction. I hate the people who don't tweet, then they come on in the fourth quarter and like, "Oh, you losers were
they're gotcha people." Yeah, look at this tweet.
Gotcha people. I gotta tag fucking cold take jabroni. No, screw you. It's fine to do that as long as at the end of the game or the end of the day you come back to earth, whether it's negative or positive, and that's it. And I'm fine with that. It's cool. Look, the world's a effed up place. We're all gonna die, so you may as well just tweet as if you're gonna die today. And sure. That's it. YOLO.
That's fair. But let me say this again, whether you think a halftime show or any of that stuff, here's the reason why. If you're pissed off at the half of this game, you had every reason to be, because this defense in the first half, they're down 24-7 at the half. Okay, they gave up 285 total yards in the first half. They gave up 177 rushing yards in the first half. The Bills only had 76 total yards. So it wasn't just 24-7 on a couple fluke plays. They were getting fucking their asses completely handed to them. New England was 4-5 on third downs. So I'm pissed off about the defense. And then I circle back around to Sean McDermott, and I'm furious with him from the first play, that amazing catch or no catch that Booty made, that New England player for 30 yards. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? They didn't get the replay assists. It should have been a challenge. You saw the replay afterwards. It probably gets overturned. So he doesn't challenge that. New England goes down and scores. That, to me, is on Sean McDermott. And then he punts. A week after playing Cincinnati, where we were talking about how uber aggressive Sean McDermott was, First half of this game,
Yeah.
they punt on 4th and 5 from the New England 44, and then they punt again on 4th and 8 from the New England 41 when they're already down 14-0. In the play before that, it's 3rd and 15, and Joe Brady runs a fucking short screen, and it gets like 7 yards. And then it's like, again, 4th and 8 from the 41, and they punt. That was annoying.
That was frustrating, yeah.
And then even, they scored like inside 2 minutes at the half to get their first and only touchdown in the half. And then it's like they had an opportunity to stop New England and maybe get the ball back if they used their timeouts. Now, it didn't work out because they didn't stop them anyway. New England converted a 3rd down, ended up kicking a field goal. But it's like they were just content to let New England, had they not, gotten a chunk play, to just run the clock out. It's like, where's this aggression that I saw last week with Sean McDermott? He put his head between his legs in the first half. He coached like a gutless coward. I thought it was embarrassing in the first half. So he was embarrassing. The defense was embarrassing. Brandon Cooks, who I told you from the moment he signed here, I'm not big on him. There's a reason maybe why he's on 4 teams now in 5 years or whatever it is. Drops a ball on the first pass of the game, a beautiful design play, and he just drops the ball. And the Bills ended up punting. That cost them probably 7 points there. So everything that could go wrong in the first half went wrong. So there's a lot of shit to be pissed off at, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And people can tweet that out and be pissed off. And no one wants to, like I said, I think it would be hilarious just for you to have a halftime show. I mean, I think you should. I mean, the Podfather doesn't. Bruce All Lazy doesn't. Mafia Matt and Pitchfork Talbot doesn't have it, a show. You need to do it. I don't know why you don't do it. It would be great. Call it Pat at the Half, and that's it. And then just delete it afterwards. That way no one could get you afterwards, or someone will record it. But yeah, the first half was a disaster. It was terrible. And it was like, the biggest thing to me, and like I told the stat earlier with the being outscored like 2-1 in the second half, the Bills, and giving up scoring drives in the first, the opponents in 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell's going on. And that's on McDermott. Like, the coaching has to be better. You can't like 3 big plays like that and your offense can't get anything going. And you were right. The punting was annoying. I'll say this, if it's okay, like you have to give credit to the special teams a little bit, because you're down 21-0. You get the ball. Ray Davis has a really nice return. You get a good kick. You get a face mask call. You're starting the ball at the New England 44. You get a touchdown there, and you give up the field goal. Then the second half, another great return. I think they were at the 41 in New England. Like 2 drives combined where they had to get 85 yards, and that was it for 2 touchdowns. Right then and then, you're back in the game. So you have to give credit to like the special teams for the Bills, and crap on the New England special teams for not being able to coverage and getting penalties, because that put them at that point, Pat, when it's 21-0, that next drive, you need to score. Like, and that offense was pitiful, but you started them with half the field. Boom. That was a big play, in terms of that turn. I think those are moments that aren't going to get talked about. I'm sure you'll look at the film and talk about the sealing the edge or whatever the fuck you people talk about on those film sessions. But I think those 2 drives, the special teams deserves a lot, because they got them in position for them to make it a freaking 1-score game pretty fast. So
yeah, that's fair. I want to pull up a point here. Bills Mafia Bad Boy said replay assist was really Patriots assist, bro. To be honest, it gave the Patriots a quick 14-point lead, and it is on the NFL. It is. It should have been replay assisted, but it wasn't, and the Bills should have called a timeout. I'll say this. I'm not saying, well, you know what? It did play a little part in this game. If you're a Bills fan, you cannot be bitching about the officiating in this game. I thought the Bills actually kind of got benefited a little bit by some calls. I'm looking at where the penalties right now. I know New England definitely had more penalties than the Bills. They had 7 for 65. The Bills only had 2 penalties for 15 yards. One of them was a holding on Torrance, which wiped out for the moment that James Cook touchdown, and it was absolutely a hold. It was the right call. There were a couple ticky-tack calls that actually went against the Patriots in this game. So one thing I'm not going to do is complain about the officiating in this game. It definitely was not going against the Bills.
Alex Barber has bitching and ball washing at the half as your halftime show. That needs to be. We need to do that. Bitching and ball washing at half.
Bitching and ball washing. I kind of like that as a title.
As a title, but. Let me ask you this. Okay, so you didn't send me a rundown. I don't know why. Usually you do, and I don't read it anyway. But
Well, you just
Okay,
answered your own question.
yes, the first half. I would have maybe read it. Okay, maybe not. Who are your top three ball washers of the game? Like who did you think for the Bills was the three guys who you would say these are the guys that made this game?
It's a good question. Well, Josh Allen, of course,
Josh
we'll
Allen.
talk about Josh Allen in a
You can
few.
talk about him now. You didn't send me a rundown. I could just go
Well,
through.
I'm going to give you three.
I'm going rogue.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
give you three because they're not
Okay.
on all the same side of the ball. Number one
Okay.
is Josh Allen.
Of course.
Number two, Matt Milano.
Yes.
Matt Milano was a stud in this game. 2 sacks, 10 tackles. I think he forced a fumble, too. It went out of bounds. But Matt Milano had easily his best game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He was completely a ball wash. He gets some ball washing here. Third could go either way. It could go Joey Bosa. I thought he had some good pressures. He had a big 4th down knockdown near the end of the game. You could give it to him. Tre White, who I thought had a good game. He had an interception, but it wasn't even so much the interception. I just thought he had a good game. And a guy that we talk a lot about on this show, and it's usually not very complimentary this season, is Greg Rizzo. He had a sack. He had a couple good run stops. He played well. Sure, Dawson Knox in the mix. I don't know. It's tough to just have three, dude. I got to ball wash more than just 3 people.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Let's talk about Josh Allen.
Okay, let's talk about Josh Allen. So, go ahead.
Well, let me run out some numbers for you, and then you can react. Well, first of all, the Bills' offense, again, you want to talk about just turning up the heat here. 5 consecutive touchdown drives. They were then held to a punt on the second last drive of 3 and out, but then they needed a first down. The closest came out and not make it interesting at the end, and they did. They were 5 of 6 in the red zone, 273 total yards in the second half. James Cook had over 100 yards rushing and 3 total touchdowns. The receivers didn't do shit. The tight ends played pretty good. We'll talk about them. But Josh Allen, dude, second half stats, 13 of 20, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 36 yards rushing. He absolutely outplayed Drake Maye in this football game, especially the second half. Drake Maye was 4 of 11 for 41 yards in the second half and an interception. He outplayed him, and I'm going to go as far to say, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think Josh Allen has formally entered the MVP conversation again. I think it's a 2-horse race in the league, and I think it's Josh Allen and Matt Stafford right now.
Did you know, by the way, that Josh Allen puked today? Did you see that clip
Yeah,
online?
they showed it on TV. Yeah.
On TV, yeah. I never knew he did that a lot. I mean, remember Jim Kelly used to puke before games back in the day.
Yeah, well, he was probably puking at his defense. If freaking, it was.
Or
you know what's funny is they showed him puking after that I think it was after Treyveon Henderson's 62-yard touchdown run. On that one play after they drove all the way down.
Maybe he just realized he's he's about to have kids, and he was like, and he barfed.
He does puke every game, but I usually don't see it on TV.
Yeah, but that was fun. Josh Allen was great. Like in terms of like the second half, he had 100 yards in total offense in the fourth quarter when that matters most, both on those touchdown drives. He did it with his legs and his arm, and the throw, the Dawson Knox touchdown. I think the second one, that was an outstanding throw.
God,
Zipped it like great. Like he's just unreal. And
to be aware where the line of scrimmage was, because it looked like he was going to flirt with going past the line of scrimmage. He wasn't going to get it by running. He knew he had to throw it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it was great, and it's like the smallest less than 200 yards. It's like one of the best 200-yard performances less than 200-yard performances I can think of. But he's AFC MVP. We'll call him. I mean, Stafford. It's gonna be him versus Stafford, like you said, a 2-man race. He's doing it with no one. His wide receivers didn't help him out. I mean, Shakir had an okay game. No one else did that. Dick. I don't know why Gabe Davis was out and your boy Keon was in. It didn't make sense. I mean, maybe they just wanted to give him. I don't know. I never. That seemed a little bit weird, especially it's a sloppy game and you figure you're going to run the football a little bit more with the weather, and we all know Gabe Davis can block, but. I've been trying to think, the last couple weeks, the Bills are 10-4. They're going to make the playoffs. And I've been trying, and we all know why this is like a big year for them to make moves, because Mahomes is done. Lamar Jackson could be done. Joe Burrow's not going there. It's a very unproven quarterback crop that they're about to go through in the AFC. But I've been consistent. I don't think this team is nearly as good as the past Bills teams have been. And I asked you last week, what do you like about them that's better than like the previous teams? And you kind of mentioned about experience, and I forgot what the second. Oh, health. That's what the thing. Like they're going to get healthy. I mean, it's like, oh, okay, fine. But is there anything they're better at doing? And the only thing I can kind of come up with is like they are winning these really tight, come from behind games this season. And I don't remember them doing that the last 3 or 4 years, because usually they've been boat racing people out of the gym or out of the field, whatever you want to call it. They're kicking their asses. They're destroying them. That's kind of been the Bills' MO during the regular season. This year, it's been all these close games. They haven't been killing people. The only teams they've killed, if I remember correctly, are the Jets and the Panthers. Carolina. That's really it. And maybe a little bit of Pittsburgh, but that was like a close game and a half. And it's been like these comebacks, and like this is something they haven't done before. And maybe that's good. I don't know. I mean, they're not the most most talented Bills squad we've had at all. They have about 1 billion injuries, but they're coming through in these crazy ways, and to win these games that in the past, I don't think they've done that really. And Josh Allen, look, they don't have. I don't think this Josh Allen's biggest comeback. I think like 21 points. I don't remember him having a 21-point comeback game against
off
anyone.
the top of my head, I don't recall that either.
Like I don't remember that, but that's just something to keep in mind, that they're just winning these gut-wrenching games.
Yeah.
Where we joked about how the Bills every year used to have like for the last 3-4 years they would have the game of the year, but they would lose the stupid game. They've had like 4 game of the years this year. The Bengals, the Bucks, the Ravens, and now this game where they've won. So I don't know if that's destiny or whatever you want to call it, but
let me let's do this on the video side anyway. I got to take a quick break. I'm literally going to be back in 5 seconds here on the video side, and I'm going to tell you why Josh Allen is now right there with Matt Stafford. I actually did a little bit of homework before this show, so I did not. We'll be right back, folks. All right, back here, we're talking Buffalo, presented by the law offices of William Mattar. Heard in a car called William Mattar. Josh Allen, Matt Stafford. Right before we went on the air, I went and did the research to look up their up-to-date stats. At first glance, I was like, yo, Stafford's just killing them statistically. I looked. As of this moment, literally as we're recording this show, they both played. Matthew Stafford on the year has 3,922 yards between passing and rushing. Spoiler alert, they're all passing. 37 total touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he lost 1 fumble. Josh Allen, right now, 3,811 yards between passing and rushing. 37 total touchdowns, same as Matthew Stafford. He's got 10 interceptions, which is 4 more, and he's lost 1 more fumble. So 4 more interceptions. Everything else is right there. 2 things. Number 1, there's still 3 games left in the season. The Bills win out, they have an excellent chance. Number 2, I think if the Rams don't win their division, then I don't think you can make Matt Stafford doesn't win MVP. And then the last thing I would say, the most important thing, kind of taking us back to last year's MVP kind of debates, was Lamar was putting up Superman numbers, but the bitch about Lamar was that he had Derrick Henry and great players around him. Matthew Stafford has Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, probably the best 2 combination receivers in the NFL, where Josh Allen's got goddamn scrubs like Brandon Cooks dropping 40-yard passes down the field. Josh Palmer missing a month and then coming back and having an absolute garbage game like he did today in New England. Point being is that he just does so much more with so much less, and we're seeing it again. December Josh is back, by the way. 7 total touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers in these 2 games. So this is a legit race. So what I was saying before the break, it's kind of like, maybe he's got a fighting chance. I think he's got a real chance. What's up?
I have a real I think he does too. What happens if both teams don't win their division?
I still think Josh Allen wins MVP.
Oh, you're such a homer. You're a homer.
I'm not a homer.
You're a homer. I mean,
Dude,
you're going total by touchdowns. I know you're not a homer. I'm messing
Can you
with
imagine
Relax.
Josh Allen? And I know you wish you could imagine it. Just imagine him playing 1 season, having receivers like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. What he would do.
But you got to give. Who is Puka Nacua? Whatever the hell his name? I can never pronounce his name. He wasn't a first rounder. He wasn't like a top 5 pick. And like,
no, he was a 5th rounder.
You got to give Stafford credit because he's helped him. Like,
sure.
You can't just like, and like Devontae Adams, the last couple of years he's been kind of doo-doo, and like Stafford has brought out the best in him.
The
So
Josh sexuals are out of control. Mike
you like
Harley's
that?
still in the live
You like
chat.
that? You like
I've never
that?
heard that before. Josh
Paul Walker's
sexuals?
got Jonathan Taylor in there as an MVP. I mean, he's up there too, but they've
James
kind of
Cook's
fallen,
within
sadly.
27 yards of the rushing lead, by the way, as of this
I
moment.
think Cook should be MVP. That's funny you say that, because when you think about it, like 3 weeks ago, I think you and I said like James Cook was the MVP of this team. And now, you're like, oh, it's Josh Allen's the MVP of the league now.
Josh is doing Superman shit now, man. These last couple games, he's doing
Cook
Superman
has had 100.
shit.
Cook has had 100 yards in like each of his last 2 games, I believe.
Cook's awesome.
But why can't he be the MVP?
Because running backs don't win MVPs. They win. He's got a chance to win Offensive Player of the Year, maybe. I could see a situation where Stafford wins Offensive Player of the Year and Josh Allen wins MVP. But again, if the Rams beat Seattle and the Rams win a division, then I think, unless he has some awful games in these last 3, I still say Stafford's the favorite. But I bet you money right now, Josh Allen is close.
Let's see
the race.
I mean, look, the next 2 weeks you got Cleveland, who normally has a pretty good, damn good defense, like with Myles Garrett, and then you have the Eagles, who they've been up and down, obviously, and I think those are going to be some good tests in terms of for him. I still think it's Stafford. I'm not blaming the last 2-3 weeks. Like, if you want to talk about him being a possibility, sure. I still think it's Stafford's season look, as of now.
Joe, maybe nobody gives a shit. I understand. I remember we did this last year, and it got to a point where we talked about it so much that it felt like not a lot of people.
But it's fine. We haven't talked about it much. But I think you're getting overly excited because you haven't talked about it. And now you're excited because you're just ignoring James Cook. And you're like, oh, 2 weeks ago, James Cook was the MVP, and now it's Josh Allen's the MVP.
James Cook had 107 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. And maybe most importantly, he did not put the ball on the ground.
You and this fucking turnover bullshit.
Oh, it didn't matter. How many turnovers did the Bills have today, Joe? How many turnovers did the Bills have?
How many did they have last week and with the fumbles, and they still won there, tough guy? They scored 35 points today. If you score 35 points, don't worry about turnovers. Don't worry about turnovers. I'm so sick and tired of this. Everyone agrees with me, even Joe B, even your guys. Tyler Dunn agrees with me.
A turnover could always change a game.
Mailbag Skursky agrees with me. Not when it's like
Skursky.
55-yard line or 55 midfield. So
I'm trying to look up a stat that I had with James Cook. Oh, so right now, James Cook is within 72 yards with 3 games left of having more rushing yards this season than Thurman Thomas ever did in any season of his career. And Thurman Thomas is obviously a Hall of Fame player. Thurman had 1,487 yards back in 1992. James Cook is within 72 yards of that.
That's crazy.
And he's still got 3 games left. So, yeah, man, James Cook has been absolutely electrifying.
Bills Mafia,
good. Go ahead.
Bills Mafia bad boy says Allen was 3rd in the odds last week for So
I wonder if Drake Maye was
second. He's in the conversation, and I never really got the Drake Maye thing. I mean, he's fine, but like, it's been a weird year, man. Like, no one has been like a god, really. I mean, obviously Allen's been striking it, the hot, but Stafford, I think has been pretty damn hot all day.
Yeah, he has.
But look, it's December Josh, but going to Cook, like Cook has just been look. I gave you the whole guts glory thing of them like coming back from a couple of scores down this season, which is something they didn't really do all that often because they've always blown out teams, as being a positive of differences. The other one is James Cook. Like that, to me, he is the biggest difference maker, in terms of like what he brings to the table. Like they had Devin Singletary for a couple of years, and then they had, James Cook last year, but he's way better this year than he was last year. And I'm definitely, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what Cook does, with the playoffs and how much they're going to involve him, because he's graduating. Like you said, he's close to the rushing title. No one, I mean, and let me give credit to where credit is due. My wife, who just went to bed, always was on team. You got to assign James Cook, and she likes to give me poop. Because I was kind of like ambivalent about it. Like, I guess you could sign him, but I'd rather buy a wide receiver or something like that. But she was right. And she's been great. So shout out to Mel, who's going to bed.
I think we're on the verge of saying that you might have to go back to the early 90s to find a season where a running back has been better than James Cook has been in 2025. I don't think anybody since Thurman Thomas has been better, had a
Well,
better season than James Cook has had with the Bills right now.
for just the Bills. Yeah, history. Yeah. I mean, it's you and I talked about this last week where like I think the biggest difference is like you have Josh Allen and teams have to key on Josh Allen where, Marshawn Lynch had Trent Edwards, and it's a big difference. But yes, you're right. In terms of what he's doing, he's a big play running back. That touchdown today where he was like, you talk about Josh Allen being
It's
Superman.
an athlete play. It's an athlete, great athlete
yeah,
play.
like he's floating like Superman on that one touchdown. But look, give him credit. And look, I want to talk a little bit briefly. I know you kind of mentioned him in the ball washing awards. Matt Milano. I don't know where he came from. I don't know what he did before this game or if he was eating spaghetti and meatballs, whatever. Like that dude played out of his mind today. Like he was incredible today.
And you know what's ironic? He had to because I thought this was the best I've seen Matt Milano probably in 2 seasons. You'd have to go back a couple years to have a game where he was a factor like he was today. They needed it because conversely, and I've been giving him nothing but ball washing love here for weeks on this show, and I still like him, but Shaq Thompson was abysmal in this specific particular football game. He was running in the blocks, not through or around them. He was woofing on tackles. He did not play well. This was the first time in probably many weeks where I sat there and found myself saying, boy, I wish Terrell Bernard was on the football field. This was a very bad game for Shaq Thompson. And I want to be clear. It happens. Players have bad games. Josh Allen has bad games. Everybody, Patrick Mahomes, everybody has bad games. This was that game for Shaq Thompson. He just was off. I mean, he was looking foolish on some tackles. So he was really bad.
Are you concerned about the Bills' rush defense? Like, do you feel?
How could you not be?
Oh, no, well, they're 10-4 with one of the worst rush defenses in the history of mankind.
You want
That's
a wild
why I'm
stat?
asking you.
It's almost like you knew you were going to lead me into this. The Buffalo Bills have given up 185 yards rushing 6 times this season. 6 times they've given up 185 yards. You know what their record is in those games where they give up at least 185 yards?
6-0.
4-2. They are 4-2, even when they give up 185 yards rushing or more. They're 4-2. Here's the second part of this stat. The rest of the NFL combined, as of there might have been a late game where this changed, but as of like 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, the rest of the NFL has given up, a team has given up 185 yards rushing 30 times. Do you know what the rest of the league's record is when they give up 185 yards?
I'm going to assume horrible. What is it?
4-26.
All right. By the way, Tooch, our boy, is taking you to task. Looking on this comment. Didn't take long for Pat to hop off the Shaq Thompson trade. You shit on Bernard all season, LOL. There you go.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Now you see,
I just said this game. I didn't say I don't like Shaq Thompson
Allen
anymore.
on the yeah, okay. You see, you just jump into bed with whoever you can. That's just how you are.
I'm just calling it like it is. Do you think Shaq Thompson played even reasonably well?
He was
anyone
incredible.
Listening to this show think Shaq Thompson was anything other than lousy today?
Hey, he wasn't. He was bad. But you know what? Let's give them. They had a good pass rush in that second half. We talked about it. Drake made less than 50 yards passing. Okay, well, can we kill? Yes, but like the pass rush was really good today. And guess what? If they get a pass rush going, they can give up 190 billion yards rushing. Like, get after the quarterback. That's what they need to do. Anyways,
Matt Milano had 2 sacks today. Greg Rizzo, who you asked me about my ball washer, I at least put him as a candidate in this game. He had a sack. So they had 3 sacks in this game. 1 by Groot, 2 by Matt Milano. Yeah, look, I'll say this. I think the defensive tackles in the first half played as lousy of football as I've ever seen. Not ever, but it was really bad. Daquan Jones was awful. Larry Ogunjobi had a sack, and he just decided he didn't want to tackle Drake Maye. I don't know what the fuck happened on that play, but what an absolute complete disaster. $8 million guaranteed or whatever the hell he got from Brandon Beane this offseason. What a lousy free agent signing. Now, he did make a nice run stop in the second half, so he did make a play. I'll give him that. Jordan Phillips didn't do anything, and then he got hurt. Deion Walker seems like he might be hitting a little teeny bit of a rookie wall here.
Sure.
It's been a hot minute since he's really done anything, but those defensive tackles in the first half, especially, oh my God, they were brutal. So you asked about the ball washing and the bitching list. So my 3 or bitching would be Shaq Thompson. It would be the defensive tackles for the most part in this game, at least the first half, and then Brandon Cooks, man. Yeah, I mean,
you know what? I'm not. No, I'm taking Brandon Cooks off the bitching list because it's your boy Joshua Palmer should be on there. Joshua Palmer, look, Brandon Cooks is a guy who was he's 700 years old. He's been on 75 different teams. Your boy Palmer hasn't been very good, even though you had him on the Hall of Fame 2 months ago. No, and then the thing about Palmer, what pissed me off was on that drive before the end of the game. What was it, 3rd and 5? They ran that little screen pass to Ty John, like a swing pass, and Palmer is 1-on-1 with the cornerback, and the cornerback just threw him out of the way and blew up that play.
Joe Brady's fault. What the fuck are you running? First of all, you run that screen for him. What are you running it with Josh Palmer? I tweeted about that.
Well, Josh Palmer should be blocking a little bit. How about you pay him that much money, he can block. How hard is
Coleman block? And Tyrell Shavers are literally only on this field to block. That's literally it.
Okay.
How many passes did they catch combined in this game? I'll give you a hint. It's 0.
I know. I know 0. Yeah, but you had Palmer on the Wall of Fame, so I don't know what to tell you. But again, you sleep with everyone. You just jump in the bed. You're just a swinger when it comes to all these people. No. Let me ask you this. What are you more concerned about? The passing game? Or, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, what's more concerned, the passing game or the rush defense for you?
The rush defense. Here's why.
See,
this is a good talking point. I'm glad you asked me that. Here's the point.
Right.
Week after week, we talk about, these receivers stinking, and they do. They stink for the most part, yet they keep scoring. Chris Trapasso put up a stat. They're scoring 2.85 yards per drive this season, which is not as good as last year, but it's better than any other of the previous 4 years before last season. They're scoring because they're running the ball. They're using the running backs more and more in the passing game, and the tight ends have been magnificent. Dawson Knox, 2 touchdowns today. The Bills have 11 touchdown catches from their tight ends this year. They had 4 last year.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers suck, though, but I don't know, Joe. Do you feel like this offense could still win without receivers? Because that's crazy to say, but they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kansas City won it with what? Travis Kelce and who was their best wide receiver 2 years ago? I don't even remember. It wasn't anyone good. They've done it before. Go to New England. If you want to go a decade ago, go to New England. They had Edelman, but it wasn't like Chris Hogan, and they had Gronk. And running backs out of the backfield, it's going to be about scheming. And that's why my concern going into the playoffs. It's not the rush defense. I don't give a shit. They're 10-4 with the rush defense. I don't know. I know you're concerned because you're
10-4 with the pass offense.
Well, I think you have to pass in the when it comes to January football, you got to pass. You have to your teams are going to be better, and that to me is a concern. Look. Josh had a great game, but he still only had 70 yards passing in the first half. No, less than that, 35 yards passing.
He had 35. He was 6 of 8 for 35 yards in the first half.
You can't do that. I mean, it's just mind blowing how he.
Why
but he came through.
Joe? All right, so good cop, bad cop, or whatever. Let's give Sean McDermott credit for this. This will be a 2-parter. Let's start with the credit part. No matter how bad they play in the first half. And they're on the road against a team that came into this game, 11-2? They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They had won 10 straight football games. Has a chance to win the division. You get dog walked the entire first half. You're down 24-7. I thought it was over. I thought maybe they might lose this game by 25 to 30 points. That's the way it was certainly headed. Anyway, Sean McDermott has his team composed, poised, battle-tested, and then they come out and they score on their first drive and they take over the game from there. I feel like Sean McDermott, before we get into why we're going to, bitch about him, doesn't he deserve a lot of credit for this team? Just, I don't know, maybe we didn't believe that they were going to come back and win, but they certainly did because they came out and they played like that. And it's just, they're making incredible halftime adjustments, and they've been doing it for the most part this entire season. Listen, 7 points they gave up in the second half today. They gave up 0 against Pittsburgh in the second half a couple weeks ago. They only gave up 3 points in the second half to Houston. They gave up 13 in the second half against Cincy, but they also had a pick 6 and 2 turnovers in that second half. They've allowed just 23 points in their last 4 second half combined. They're whatever they're doing wrong in the first half, they're getting it corrected in the second half, and they're playing much better. That's a testament to Sean, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's had a pretty, outside of the defense being annoying at times and the defensive line rotation of boom, he's done a lot of great things this season with being aggressive. He wasn't aggressive in the first half, but I'll ask you this: like we talk about MVP, like make the case why shouldn't Sean McDermott be the coach of the year with what he's had? Like who do you have? Who do you have as the coach of the year? Because there's.
I think he just saw him today, probably, or maybe right now.
Maybe Vrabel. Like Vrabel probably will win it. Yeah.
I mean, Denver keeps winning. They're only got 2 losses. They're going to be a number 1 seed, dude. That's a AFC West. That's a tough ass division. Probably the toughest in football.
But like he's the top. I think he's in the conversation as coach of the year. You can't I get what you're saying. Like Peyton, Vrabel, but what they're like 2 games. No one never talks about him. Like I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm the biggest booster of Sean. Like there's moments I want to kill him. But yeah, he should be in that conversation as coach of the year. Look what he's doing with this. This defense is freaking like they're down to like their 3rd string like edge rushers. The injuries they've had, the Brandon Bean not doing great with this freaking roster building. And again, I'll put some of that on McDermott. I do think he has a say. At least I don't think he's going on vacation or whatever. But like obviously most of it's the Beans.
Well, to your point, Joe, with the injuries, Christian Benford was 2 weeks ago was AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Christian Benford should have been Defensive Player of the Week last week as well.
Oh my God, yeah, he was out. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then he gets hurt at practice. You just said it. He doesn't even play in this game. Did it matter? I love Christian Benford, and they are much better with him than without him. But
maybe
it didn't matter too much in this football game. Max Harrison had a couple little mistakes, but it's not like he played. I mean, he had one on the run container that was really bad in the second half. But overall, they didn't miss Christian Benford, not in this game, not against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The defense made adjustments, and Sean McDermott obviously has his fingerprints all over those adjustments, and they had another good second half.
Yeah.
But this was what I wanted to ask you. Why does this team continue to get off the bus, go into the stadium, and play so utterly terrible in the first half of most of these games? They gave up 20 points in the first half to Tampa, 20 to Houston, 21 to Cincinnati, 24 today. These are all in the first half. Why is this team playing so bad against so many teams in the first half?
I have no idea. I mean, I feel like we've had this issue in the past with them being a little bit of a slow starting team. Or there was like a quarter or something in the season that they were like really bad, maybe a couple years ago. I have no idea. I wish I can tell you. I would mix it up and say maybe it's weird because I want to say like get the kickoff, like dictate the pace of the game. Don't kick, have the ball to start off. But the double dip they like the double dip, and the double dip was key today. They didn't get the 2 touchdowns, like they gave up a field goal, but they did like on those 2 drives. And just a paraphrase. I know Mike Carlisto, he's talking smack a little bit because I said McDermott's coach of the year. I did not say he was coach of the year. I said he should be in the conversation. Okay, like there's like 5 other guys, and he's not going to get it, but he should be in the conversation. That's all. No bartender's cutting me off. And no bartender's cutting me off. By the way, Carlisto. No one ever is.
No bartender.
That's what he said. If I said he's coach of the year, I'm going to get cut off. I don't think I should get cut off if I say if McDermott's coach of the year. I think it's like some good guys, but I wouldn't drug test you if you said McDermott's the coach of the year. Kind of shocking. He hasn't won a freaking coach of the year. They have the most wins since 2020. I know the playoffs have been a different story, but like give him guys a flower. Like he's a dickhead micromanager sometime, and he loves Jesus a little too much for my taste, but he's a good coach. Gotta give him credit. So
let's take one more quick 5-second break here on the video side. All right, back here without Joe from Queens. You could just look at his background here. He went to go grab a beer. Very lively chat here tonight. I think we're on the same page with most of the things, and I kind of feel when Joe gets back, I'll ask him about this too. But this is a question for everybody to ponder. Do you feel like this game specifically may have this game really showed, maybe more than any other this season, everything this team is capable of being, and also everything that this team is capable of being in a wrong way? Because again, the run defense was completely anemic. The middle linebacker was just terrible in this football game. And maybe most importantly, the Bills, and they got away with it again today, but that wide receiver room, this may be the worst wide receiver room in the NFL.
It's the greatest. What are you talking about? It's awesome.
Well, I'm just saying that
it's terrible. Yeah,
it might be the worst. Now, if I go through 31 other teams, maybe I could come up with 3 to 4. I'm like, you know what? They're at least better than that. I don't know. So Gabe Davis, a healthy and active, which I did not understand. I did not agree with. Maybe Sean will elaborate sometime on Monday about that a little bit. But Keon Coleman doesn't even have a target. Now, he did draw a pass interference, which I thought was a little bit ticky-tacky. It was close. But anyway, my point is the ball still hit his hands. He didn't catch it. Luckily, he got bailed out by the penalty. That was literally his only target of the game. He had a nice block downfield on a play. I can't remember what the play was, but I remember he had a nice block. But whatever. Tyrell Shavers, for a second straight week, doesn't even have a catch. Khalil Shakir was solid for what he does. I wish they would use him a little more down the field, but he had a solid game. Brandon Cooks with the drop. Just bad things were happening when they throw him the football, period. And Josh Palmer, I was really excited for him to come back, and he did have a catch. There was one that was a bad throw, but I think he mistimed his jump a little bit, and then he just missed a few blocks. It was just a big non-factor. But the run defense and the wide receiver room is just as bad as it gets. That's the bad thing about the Bills. But you also saw in the second half when this team really puts their, they pin their ears back and they want to play winning football, they're unstoppable. Joe, the offense is unstoppable without like doing anything big down the field. It's like death by 1,000 cuts and James Cook running through them. What kind of beer you got there for the second one?
As you know, the first beer, it was a Kansas City beer because I was toasting to the end of their season. This is actually a New England Boston beer because the Bills beat them today. This is a great brewery, and like you won't get that in Buffalo. I know you don't give a shit, but to our beer drinkers, Treehouse Brewery. It's a great brewery. It's in Massachusetts. There's also a tasting room in Saratoga, New York, if you're ever going through there. This is an IPA. It's a freestyle hops, and it is New Zealand style double IPA, 8.2% alcohol. There's nothing I can add about the wide receiver room, buddy. Like, you have said it. We have said it forever. It is a dumpster fire. Now, I will give Joe Brady some credit, not to pivot off of that criticism. He is getting the tight ends more involved, and I'm fine with that because you can't get the wide receivers involved because outside of Shakir, who is inconsistent as all hell, and it's like, I don't want to trash him. He's like, I don't want to even say a diamond in the rough. He's there, and he's fine. Everyone else isn't fine. I don't know why
they're not good. They're just not good.
They're just not good. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's a bad wide receiver room.
But the tight ends are making up for it, right? And the running backs.
The running backs too.
Seven catches for the tight ends. 71 plus 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they had 11 for 137 and 2 touchdowns the week before. So these tight ends are becoming a consistent threat. And by the way, tip of the cat, let's give a little ball washing to Dawson Knox, man. He's been really good this year.
Yeah,
he's been good.
You know, we need to bring. He's been okay. That's a little bit too much of the BW there. No, he's been good. Like, he gets touchdowns, and like he had I honestly thought he had like a huge game today, and I looked at the box, and I'm like, oh, he had 3 catches for like less than 40 yards. But yes,
yeah, with 2 touchdowns.
Yes, I know. Go look, Mazel Tov to him. I'm saying, like, get him more involved. The tight ends are the best part of the passing offense because the wide receivers, look, they have no chemistry whatsoever right now in terms of this. Are you done with Josh Palmer, by the way? I want this officially.
What more? What do you want me to do?
Just are you done with him? Are you done with him?
I said he was garbage today. I thought
no, but are you done with him? You were talking about him.
No, I'm not done with him because he's
I'll
the
just
best
say
hope.
this. If you want to get, I'm doing a selfie and looking at the comments. everyone's has a hot take about McDermott being a coach of the year. Like that should be your topic with Matt Rich Warren the seventh, because it is like they're McDermott's a very polarizing person where it's like, okay, does Josh get the credit? Like, yeah, their rush defense sucks, but they have a really good pass defense when you think about it. And
they have a great pass defense.
Yeah, and look, and how many times this year, this is how stupid we are at times. Have we bashed the secondary? Like we hated Tre White the first month and a half of the season. Benford wasn't hot at all. Tyler Rapp we hated. Jordan Poyer
Cole Bishop was on the verge of please bench this guy. He's becoming a bust.
But and that's the thing. You got to give him credit. Like if someone comes in here, if we need, you know what it is? It's like one of those things where an ESPN talking head, that has credibility. I mean, there's none of them, but someone has to come out and be like, Sean McDermott should be coach of the year. And then I think there'll be a buzz that comes out there. But I wouldn't drug test anyone who said he should be coach of the year. And look, I'm saying who Ben Johnson deserves it. McVay deserves it. Fuck Sean Payton. I hate that fucking guy. The offense isn't even that great in freaking Denver. The defense is kicking ass. The guy who's the defensive coordinator should be probably a head coach at some point.
I got a couple comments bookmarked, by the way.
Oh yeah, and you're not gonna get to them. You can't even multitask. You yelled at me one time last week when I told you to put a comment up, and you're like, "Oh, we're not talking about that." Yeah, then I can't even do any of that. So, anyways, but what were we talking about? Yeah, the wide receiver.
Let me ask you a question: if Khalil Shakir goes down, if Khalil Shakir went down, God. Okay, he hurts his ankle. God forbid. I know.
Bring Elijah Moore back.
And you absolutely, who would be the receiver in this room that you would say has the best chance of having a good day? If it's not Khalil Shakir, what receiver in this room would have the chance of, like I just said, having a good day, a productive day? Of all the other receivers on this roster, who would you pick?
Probably Gabe Davis. When you put all the wide receivers together and you put together their best single seasons, Gabe Davis has the best single season of all of them. I don't even think, correct me if I'm wrong, do they have a 1,000-yard wide receiver who's had 1,000 yards on their resume? I don't think they do, right? Am I losing? Yeah, Shakir never had 1,000 yards. Neither did Gabe.
Well, Brandon Cooks now.
Oh yeah, he did, but he's a Hopkins for the Chiefs in Baltimore. But it would probably be Gabe. That's it. And trust me, I spent time and time on this podcast not really I called Gabe Davis the bill collector because he shows up once a month when he was here for years, because that's how he is. And there's no one else. I'm not thrilled with him, but they have to just look, Pat. They have to evolve and make this a tight end running back offense they're just kicking it to them. I don't know, I'll say this, Dalton Kincaid kind of annoyed me a little bit because he had that one great catch, or not the great catch. It was Allen darted it to him, and he fell on the ground. And I'm there was 5 guys, he was 5 yards within, no one was there. And he caught it. Do you know what play I'm talking about? He caught it.
I know, because I had him in my fantasy football playoffs, and I thought there were a couple catches that were him, and it ended up being Knox, that second touchdown. But yes, he kind of sort of fell a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he fell. It's dude, come on, man. Don't fall. You got no one in sight. That's how the passing game is going to work this year. It's going to be about Knox. It's going to be that, the fantasy that I always had about this 2 tight end approach was it was going to be like the Patriots from a decade ago with Hernandez and Gronk. And they had Hogan, and I don't even know, Welker was there. That's what I have in terms of this. They have to get those guys. And look, I'm not a Dawson Knox truther. I don't like anyone really that's catching the ball on this team all that much. But get the tight ends involved. Run that offense. Go watch some Bill O'Brien or whoever the hell the OC was then. Offense to get it going. But
to go back to the question I asked you when you said Gabe Davis would be your guy, I would maybe have thought that until the point that Sean McDermott made a conscious decision to make him a healthy and active today, and I don't like that, and I don't understand why, because it's not blocking. If you say you want Keon Coleman out there to block, Gabe Davis is a great blocker. I don't understand why they did. My answer, back to the ball washing, even despite today, still Josh Palmer. I think if there's somebody on this team who has the ceiling that's capable of making some big plays down the field if they need it, and it's not going to be Khalil Shakir, I think it's going to be Josh Palmer. But back to this point about this offense, Joe, they scored 5 consecutive touchdowns. And other than Khalil Shakir, 4 quarters of football, wide receivers not named Khalil Shakir caught 1 pass today for 16 yards. It was Josh Palmer, and it was pretty early in the game. No one else on the wide receiver room did anything other than Khalil Shakir, but yet they scored 5 straight touchdowns. They don't need it. They don't need it.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I want you to give me a pie chart. I know you like pie. You eat it all the time. I mean, you have the little Debbie's behind you, probably. Go. We need to get them as a sponsor.
I haven't had a victory, Little Debbie's. That's going to change. All right, go ahead, man.
Pie chart. Okay. Who are you blaming for the passing, the wide receivers not getting open? The wide receivers or Joe Brady? Like, if you're doing a pie chart, 50% who, like, what are you doing? Because you know what? They love to run those wide receivers. Those wide receivers screens a lot. They don't run a lot of short passes or long passes, deep passes, to the wide receivers. Like, who would you blame for, like, the wide receivers not getting involved more in terms of a pie chart? Like, who are you blaming more? Like, I know you're not good with numbers or anything for that matter, but what are you putting the percentage at?
85%, maybe even more on the wide receivers. I just think the room stinks.
Okay, so
it's 85. Not a good room. It's just not a good room. Oh, so hold on. I take that back. I don't put 85% on them. I put 85% on Brandon Beane.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. I agree. But you're of course going into business for yourself. Go ahead.
Well, he's the reason why they have Brandon Cooks, and he's the reason why they have Gabe Davis as 2 guys that they got to count on.
I know.
Those are 2 guys you take a little flyer with, maybe, if you got a shitload of injuries. They don't. Curtis Samuel's the only wide receiver that's like had a long-term injury this year. They're just not good enough. That's on the.
When does Curtis Samuel? Jesus Christ! Go get fatter, buddy. When does Curtis Samuel get back? Is he dead? I know he's on IR. Does he?
Why? Who are they going to cut to bring him back?
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this: we're at 1 hour and 2 minutes, and Pat's getting fatter as we speak because he's about to eat some Little Debbie's. I'm going to email Little Debbie's, and oh, by the way, I got to talk to you after this about something else. But okay, all right. What else have we talked? Is there anything else we should talk about this game before we go to the comments?
You usually, and before I get to a couple comments, you'll say, do you feel any different about this team? Is there anything about this team? What do you think? Do you feel any different about the Buffalo Bills going forward now than you did a few hours ago?
Absolutely. I said last week after the Bengals game, I was like, the Bengals defense is a disaster. They're 4-8. Like I said, beat the Patriots this week and I'll feel better. They beat the Patriots. I feel much better. I'm pretty damn optimistic. I think they can beat any team in the AFC. I mean, I said that last week too, but like I have confidence that they have gone through hell in a way to get where they're at. They have had to grind it out. Like no blowouts. And look, maybe I'm trying to do like the PR thing where it's like, how do I figure this out? It's different, and I'm like, what makes it different? And the difference is like they're just climbing out of the gutter to win these games when they're down and they're coming back. They're showing adversity, all those cliche things that, I'm not a huge fan of. It's like, okay, whatever, get better players, but they're doing that. But I feel very good, and I would put them. I don't want to say they're a team to beat in the AFC, but because it's such a dog.
I bet you there's a lot of people out there who think they're the team to beat in the AFC.
Sure. I agree with that. So let me ask you this: give me, how that's how I feel. I'm much more confident. Like, figure out your damn first quarter, people, please, for God's sakes. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but look, they're 10-4. I feel pretty confident they should beat Cleveland. They should beat the Jets. They're going to finish 12 and. The Eagles, who the hell knows? I've given up on trying to figure out the Eagles, but I think they're. I don't want to say the best team in the. I don't know where I'm at. I'm drinking. I don't know where they're at. Like, you tell me, buddy.
Let me say this.
Give me your top 3. Let me say this. It's my show now. Give me your 3 teams, your 3 AFC teams right now. Your top 3 AFC teams right now. Do it.
Buffalo, Denver, and Houston. Maybe not in that order, but Buffalo, Denver.
Oh, so you don't like New England anymore? You've totally jumped off. I mean, I don't know if you're on the New England bandwagon.
Whoa. I didn't really jump off a bandwagon. If I'm being completely honest with you, I've never been that much on their bandwagon to begin with. I think they are a very good, formidable football team, but they haven't done it before. They got a second-year quarterback, and they got holes on that football team, and we saw some of them today. I'll say this about this game. In terms of, hold on, God, this is so good. This victory, celebration, Christmas tree cakes are the best Christmas cakes.
God.
They're
Pandering Pat at it again.
This was their second best win of the season as far as I'm concerned. Their best win was the first week 1 win against Baltimore, because I feel like that set the tone that, hey, we're going to beat this team. And they did. But this was their second biggest. This is bigger than the Kansas City game. This is bigger than last week's game against the Bengals, because if the Bills are going to get to a Super Bowl, they're probably going to have to win up to 3 games on the road. And they've been a pretty shitty road team. So to go to a team that was 11-2 and fall down by 21 points, 21-0, and get embarrassed like they did and come back and win this football game, I think that's really going to help their confidence. I think this defense could be better. You get Benford back, and hopefully you get Ed Oliver back. And if they don't lose anyone else, God forbid, going forward, this defense can be fine. They can be good enough going into the playoffs. So today changed for me in terms of you had to go show me you could be a good road team. They haven't shown that. Now, I'll say this, though. I'll give you a hot take about the Patriots real quick. This might be a good thing for them. I think Stephon Diggs might have even alluded to that after the game. At the end of the day, maybe they got a little too ahead of themselves, a little too high on themselves. You got to learn how to lose, kind of refocus a little bit, recalibrate. This might be a good loss for the Patriots.
Maybe, and you can't win. You won 10 straight. That's a lot. But it's going to be interesting. Like I'm not sure where we're going to be at in a month. The Bills. I just don't know. I have no idea. But I do feel better about them, man. Let me ask you this, Pat. Fill in the blank. Two blanks. If the Bills have to play 3 road games on the road, will they go to a Super Bowl?
I would say no. I would say no.
Okay, that's all I want. That's all. Okay. If the Bills get the number 1 seed, and would they go to the Super Bowl?
If the Bills get the first or the second seed, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're not going to get the first seed, though. Denver's going to get the first seed. They're 2 games up now, and there are only 3 games left, and they got a chump game or 2 left. Denver's going to end up getting the number 1 seed.
I wonder how many expats are in Denver to take over that stadium. Like,
not enough. That's a stadium. That's definitely a stadium where their fans show up. So
all right.
It's not going to be one of those. It's not going to be a Bills Mafia takeover. But
if anyone has questions in the chat, I'm taking over as always. Please ask them. I know you start some stuff, but at the end, even though Pat started stuff, we can go to it at the end. So if anyone has questions, let us know. Pat, roll the stars. What do we got here?
I'm going to get to them in a second. I was looking at Denver's last 3 games. Denver's still got to play Jacksonville, at Kansas City, and the Chargers. But
you just anointed them the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, but Week 18, Kansas City without Patrick Mahomes, the Chargers in Week 18 would have a wild card locked up. So, man, I don't know. Anyway,
let me tell you this. Listen.
Go ahead.
Real key here. You know how you were just ball washing Little Debbie over there, or whatever those cakes are? Mm-hmm. This beer is incredible. This is no joke. So we're gonna have to go at least like another 30 minutes because I have to finish this beer. So we're doing a pot-a-thon, baby, because this shit's great. Ralph Wilson makes a good comment in this. Wyoming Josh fans will get to Mile High. He's right. I mean, Montana's not too far. Maybe there'll be some Montana fans there. Like
that's true. I'm trying to look up something right now, and I can't.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I can't tell. All right, so anyway, let me get to a couple comments. Then if people got other questions or something pops up, we'll get to them too. But Mazvids, let's start here. He said Glad all the Knox haters crawled back in their hole. Stay there, you smooth brains.
Oh, come on, man. You know what? I'm a Knox hater. I'm sorry.
You are, but are you capable of being objective and saying, "Hey, man, he was an asset. He's been an asset these last couple games. He's been good this year, dude."
He's been solid. Like he's been. Look, this is where I'd asked you before, like, where do you put Joe Brady versus like the talent in terms of the graph of like how the passing offense goes, and it's just like, yeah, he's been solid. He's gonna end the season with like 40 catches.
He has more catches and more touchdowns than he has in any season since 2022.
Okay, but Pat, what are his catches right now? He had like 15 last year.
He's got 28 catches for 300. He's a second tight end. What does the matter with you? He's got 28 catches for 353 yards and 3 touchdowns for a part-time tight end. You don't think that's really good? I mean, are you comparing him to Travis Kelce and Trey McBride? This is a solid on a team with no receivers. The tight ends have been great this season.
Okay, that's not. He's okay. Let me calm down. He's paid to be a top 10 tight end. He's paid for that.
Fair.
Now, that's fair. His resume has better years where he had 50 plus catches. I think like the third and fourth year he was here.
2022, he had 48 catches, and then he had 49 the year before.
And
so
he's
2021, 2022,
and he's not close to that. And he's not close to that. He's been okay for what they've wanted, but again, I just need a little bit more. But I hear what you're saying. Him being like the second tight end, yes, if he was, and that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like they have to figure out a way. I'm with you. You're saying he's had a good year. Like he's been okay. Like good year is a lot to say. No one has had a good year when it comes to passing, when it comes to receiving at all. Any pass Kincaid has, but I wonder if he's nursing something still because he's
missed 5 games and he's not playing a ton of snaps.
He's not playing.
I guess I don't look at Kincaid or Knox individually. I'm looking at them positionally because they really depend on their tight ends. And again, they got 11 touchdown catches between the tight ends this year, and they had 4 last year. That's almost triple already.
Fine. Let's put them on the Ball Wash Hall of Fame. Fine, they've been great. Okay.
Last week it's been Josh Palmer. He might come off. Now Dawson Knox might go on the Pat ball washing.
Diving Pickle just said Knox is our second biggest cap hit this year. Pathetic. Tell me again, he's the
That's
man.
a Brandon Bean mistake. That's not a Dawson Knox mistake. Look, he's doing about as much as you can realistically hope for a 1B. Tight end on a team where, quote unquote, everybody eats. Diamond Pickle said, well, what about Palmer, Pat? According to you, he is Eric Mold.
He said that.
How many times are you guys going to rip into me in one show because
you had him on the Wall of Fame? I don't see, unlike you, this is the problem between you and I. Like, you think I'm a curmudgeon. I'm very balanced and even keel when it comes to anointing people. You anointed Keon Coleman as a 1,000-yard wide receiver based on you being at training camp. I would never do that. I'm not doing that. But you love everyone. The only people you don't like is DeMar Hamlin because his dad hates you. By the way, I realized that today. Like, where is DeMar Hamlin? I haven't seen him in like years.
I don't know. He can stay away, man. He's the point recovering from injury, surgery.
You hate everyone. You love everyone unless they hate you on Twitter. Like if anyone added you, like a relative, you probably hated Zay Jones because his dad was all over the fucking place on Twitter. Like you just Dante Whitner, you hated because he wanted to box you allegedly or whatever. Like the Pat. Like the Pat Hall of Fame of like people who hate him, it's very small because he'll turn on you at a dime, but he will always pump you up and then drag you down. Again, you're like
besides you saying that you're even keel, which I find that
I am even keel. I'm even keel.
Once you don't like something or someone, you are not going to get off them, no matter what.
Are we talking about the president? Because
we're not talking about the president. We are not talking about the president. By the way, guess who leads the team in average yards per catch this season? Josh Palmer.
I don't know. Palmer, yeah.
Josh Palmer, 15 yards a catch. I'm telling you, it's coming. January Josh. That's what he's going to be called. Josh Palmer is going to be January Josh. He's going to have a 100-yard game in a playoff Bills road victory. Write that down right now. I'm going to save that clip when it happens.
Great. I can't wait. Yeah, the first time you predicted something right. I'll say this, your boy Matt Collins, you know, I'm not a Matt Collins truther. I know you love him and like he's on the you you can't get over him.
The Matt
leading.
Collins funerals. We had a bunch of them this offseason.
But like that one catch he had, like I think it was like 2nd and 15. He caught that, and I remember. I think I posted on Blue Sky like no other Bills wide receiver is catching that. You know, when he had that great catch, and I'm just like, it wasn't great, but
Damar Hamlin has been doing second. He has been in the Hallmark movies, so maybe
yeah,
he's just going to end up
great.
being. He's going to be in Hollywood.
I love Damar. I love his dad too, even though Pat hates his family.
Dante Whitner is a fan. Tooch.
Yeah, Tooch. Someone had a record of ball washing. Can someone bring up the ball washing thing from earlier? I think it was Tooch who kept track of your ball washing. I really want to know who you ball washed this week.
Let me get to a comment here from Matt 6641. He says Knox better take a huge restructure or he has to go. I agree. Look, yes, again, Jackson Hawes, by the way, he'll take that position next year and he'll be dirt cheap compared to Dawson Knox. But both things can be true. You know, you could be saying he's not a long-term future. He's overpaid, but he's been an asset to this team.
Okay, let me ask you, what's the playoff picture look like right now? Like who teams outside of the hunt right now? Who like if you could tell me where's the fear bunker? Who are the teams you fear the most right now to play the Bills? Is it Houston? I forgot what you said last week, but where are you right now?
I shouldn't say it's not going to be Houston. It could be Houston.
I'm just saying fear. But
Houston on the road. I've been very vocal about that. So a nightmare scenario would be Houston overtakes Jacksonville to win the AFC South. And if they finish third, the Bills finish sixth. Or if they finish fourth, the Bills finish fifth. They would have to go to Houston in the first round. Honestly, that's probably the only first round matchup that would scare me. Like if the Bills were to finish 7 and New England finishes 2, I wouldn't be scared to play New England in Foxboro.
So Houston is the scary team for you. Like what in the conference would you say? Is it Houston? Like who are you scared more of, Houston or Denver?
Probably Denver.
Denver, okay.
But Houston first round match. If you're talking first round matchups,
I'm just talking in general. I'm just talking in general. Like who are you worried about?
Houston, probably Houston, just because the Bills have been terrible. What 3 or 4 straight times they went to Houston and they've played absolutely awful. However, January Josh Palmer should be healthy for that game, and I feel like he can make a couple plays here. Let me get to a couple starred comments that I have here on the live chat.
Thank God, yeah.
Mike said, you know who else looked absolutely washed today? Daquan Jones. He was not good in this game.
I saw him do a pressure at like one point. I think I saw him.
This wasn't a good game.
Look, he's been the guy.
He's been better than I've given credit for. I guess I could say that about him.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Lee. Bosa was great. A huge man, a huge nose, and a huge play.
MAGA Bosa. He's making America great again.
I got to tell you, man. So it's it was 4th and 5, which turned out to be one of the biggest defensive plays of the game, of course. Late. It's 4th and 5. New England goes for it. Maye rolls out to the right. Joey Bosa is out in space. He was kind of like he dropped in a zone. The Bills had some sort of blitz going on. I haven't watched it back, so I don't know what exactly. But anyway, Bosa tips the ball. I'm really surprised that Drake Maye didn't try to run because Joey Bosa would have felt like a sitting duck out there, but he ended up throwing the ball. Joey Bosa had a big play. Joey Bosa also had a couple nice pass rushes. You could tell he was missed last week against Cincinnati because the drop-off from him to Morgan Fox last week was significant.
It wasn't great,
They need Joe Bosa in January here.
Would you say, from what he's made, what, $12 million this year? Would you say he's been a successful signing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, 5 forced fumbles. That was a big play today. He had the play of the game against the Steelers, the first play of the second half. They were losing at the time. He had that sack on Aaron Rodgers that Christian Benford picked up for a touchdown. Pittsburgh was up 7-3 with the ball in the third quarter when that play happened. He's been, I think, for the most part, fantastic. He's been pretty lousy against the run. He gets caught too much inside. It's been frustrating at times, but he's been one of the few playmakers on this defense this year. In fact, my son Shane asked me, I'll ask this for the crowd too, if things were the same, if you could get Joey Bosa back next year, and by the way, he loves being in Buffalo, I'll say that. If you could get him back next year for the same contract, if he said, well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm 30, give me 1 year, $12 million, make it work, I'll resign with you. Would you do that?
No.
Really? No. I would. I'd bring him back.
I wouldn't for $12 million. I think he's been good. He's probably been Brandon Beane's best signing or best acquisition, even including the draft that they've had. I thought they overpaid him, but he's been pretty good in terms of what he's done. I would turn the page a little bit. He's going to be 30. I'm always a little worried about paying guys in their 30s who are defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't do it. But
so you're pretty much saying, hey, Joe, because I don't have a lot of cap room if I'm the Bills. Hey, Brandon Beane.
Oh no!
Get ready to take a defensive
edge
in the first round of the draft.
Okay. Maybe you're right. Okay, I might take that back. I
100% on those terms for a short-term deal. I would sign him. Landon Jackson is going into your second year as a third-round pick. Maybe he could develop into a good rotational piece next season. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose A.J. Epinesa probably because he's going to be a free agent. I would keep Bosa if the opportunity's there. Now, if he thinks he's going to get a 3-year, $16 million a year kind of contract, hit the bricks. But 1 year, 12.5 million, something like that, I'd be bringing him back. Let's get to another comment here. Ralph Wilson said, Teron sucking. I'm going to tell you what, I don't agree with that. And I've been in the camp of Teron Johnson is cooked and washed up a lot this year. I thought he got beat on one play for sure. Stephon Diggs got him one-on-one across the middle of the field. Mismatch. That aside, I thought Teron Johnson played well today. He had a nice pass breakup on the third down play before the Bosa knockdown on fourth down near the end of the game. He didn't miss tackles. I'm good with Teron Johnson. I think he had a sneaky, low-key. He might get a little ball washing when I do film tomorrow. God.
We need to stop the ball washing at like 7 per show. Okay, like that's it. Like you can't be stealing my gimmick, pal. I give Johnson credit. Like in terms of I don't know where Stephon Diggs was, if he was in the slot a lot or whatever. I thought the wide receivers for New England, considering Diggs had 130, 40 yards or whatever the last time, he didn't do
3 for 26 today.
Yeah, it was a good day, a good game for the secondary. So I got no qualms with the secondary today. They shut down Maye. I mean, look, Maye had 50 yards passing or whatever he had in the second half. Like
4 of 11 for 41 yards in the second half. Stephon Diggs only had 3 catches in this game for 26 yards. Hunter Henry, a tight end who I was horrified about coming into this game, 1 catch for 18 yards. So I
wonder who covered him. I bet you Shaq Thompson, you're going to like him tomorrow in the film room. I bet you'll like him.
Well, maybe in the second half some. I'm telling you, he was brutal in the first half. And I'm a big Shaq Thompson guy, man. I'm just keeping it real. Diamond Pickle said, how about Poyer missing that INT? Jesus. Yeah, at the moment, that felt like, oh, man, something really bad's going to happen. Nothing did happen, though. I think they ended up punting. Or maybe that was the same drive where Tre White ended up with an interception. But it ended up being like a big difference in field position. But fortunately, it didn't hurt the Bills because New England didn't score on that. And look, it was a mistake by Poyer. I'm sure he wants that back. But he was fine. I thought he played pretty well again. Did his job. So... I'm fine with Jordan Poyer. All right, Maz Viz agrees with you. McDermott should have already been coach of the year multiple times. What?
I mean, look, he won. He could have probably got it in 2020. I don't even know who got it in 2020. Like they were freaking 10-6, and they were awesome in 2020. They were 13-3. But you know, I understand why he probably doesn't, because maybe if he was an offensive guru, like his background was, he would get it. But because he's not. And Josh is the face of the team, that's probably why. Like if he was if he was like the Andy Reid or whoever offensive guy, he probably would have got it by now because they would have given him credit for Josh Allen's development. But I don't think he doesn't get the credit for that. It's Brian Dable, and I think Brandon Beane probably got a little bit more of that in regards to that. But
let's see here, a couple more. Slagass 6567 says, in the expectation of hitting home runs on every draft pick and free agent sign is delusional also. This is in regards to me talking about the wide receiver room. And look, no, but I mean, Curtis Samuel's an awful free agent signing. Josh, he can't stay healthy. Josh Palmer this year, anyway, year 1 has been awful in part because he can't stay healthy. Keon Coleman has looked like a lousy draft pick right now. They haven't drafted enough receivers to throw enough darts at. This is Brandon Beane is largely responsible for this room, and maybe none so more than he could have corrected a lot of shit about a month or a month and a half ago where he had an opportunity to get Jalen Waddle before the trade deadline and wasn't willing to meet the first round pick for this year. So I don't want to hear that shit, man. They should be doing more. That wide receiver room
Look,
should be better than what it
when
is.
you're the amount of free agent wide receivers they brought in has been a lot, and they've all been bad. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is the best since 2020. He's the best free agent wide receiver Brandon Beane has brought in. That's
Is
not
he
saying
really?
a lot. I think so.
Are you sure? I'm not saying you're wrong. That doesn't sound
Ooh,
right.
I'll go through it. Yeah, it does sound right. Like he was 2021. The next year was Jamison Crowder. Crowder got hurt. He was out. Like he was gone. The next year was your boy James Hardy and Sherfield. They were terrible. And then last year was Curtis Samuel, terrible.
Yeah,
And then this year's your boy Palmer, who you got on the Wall of Fame, and you're going to take him down now because you hate him. And yeah, he's been there since John Brown was good, obviously, but that's 7-8 years ago. You know that happened, but since 2020, it's been Emmanuel Sanders is his best guy, and Emmanuel's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
take it.
not great.
That's not great, Bob. And
that makes me want to cast my vote even more for Josh Allen for back-to-back MVPs with that room. The Green Light Channel says Mecole Hardman will be back this week as well. Who's sitting? That's a good question. So he'll be returning kicks. Man, that's a really good question. First of all, and by the way, since we're talking about kick returns, quick little shout out. Ray Davis has been really good on kick returns, man.
I mean, yeah, he's been good. I mentioned that like 7 hours ago on the podcast, but you ignored me because you were looking at Tooch's tweets or whatever. But no, the kick returns have been good. Like I said, like Davis has been, and I would never look. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a scout, but I would never think of Ray Davis as being like a good returner. He doesn't look like a returner, but he's good. He's been a good kickoff returner. So
I think the question is going to be, so if Hardman is back this week, I think they go to 6 receivers, including him. However,
hell yeah, 5 wide receiver sets, baby. They're not bad.
I think he's primarily their punt returner and the second kicker. It'll be him and Davis on kicks, and he'll be returning punts, and he might get 3 or 4 snaps on offense a game. The real question is going to be, man, Josh Palmer is back now. If no receivers are hurt this week, which you never know with the Bills,
what's up with this practice, man? Like, maybe don't practice anymore. Let's just not practice.
Does Gabe Davis sit again? I don't see him sitting twice. So is it going to be Brandon Cooks who dropped the ball? Think good things didn't happen to him, or is it going to be Keon Coleman? I don't know, man. It might be. I think you might sit Brandon Cooks. He might be the odd guy out now for the time being.
I'd have to look more into like what Cleveland is like in terms of.
They're not very good on offense and they're good on defense. That's what
I know. But what's the defense? Are they bad against the run? Because if they're bad against the run, you may want Gabe in there, and then you kind of are like whatever to Hardman or whatever. But who knows?
Matt said, "I'm eating a Christmas cake too right now. Those things are." The bomb. They are the bomb.
Of course you would star that. Like, Jesus Christ. There's been many. You're going to star that? My God.
Let's
get Shane to star these comments, for God's sakes.
Let's switch gears here real quick because we're about to get off the air. And I want to say this too. We're recording this, streaming this on the video side Friday. The vast majority of people, by the way, there's over 1,000 people that have been in the live chat tonight. So thank you very much for that. But most people are going to be listening to this sometime on Monday. The vast majority of people. The Buffalo Sabres just won, literally right now as we're getting ready to get off the air. They just beat Seattle 3-1 on the road. The Buffalo Sabres have now won 3 straight games on the road after losing their first 3 of the road trip. Tim Graham, Matthew Fairburn collaboratively for The Athletic are reporting that there's a good chance that Kevin Adams is getting fired. You might wake up, or depending on when you listen to this show, Kevin Adams might not be the Sabres general manager anymore. I wonder if them winning 3 straight games on the road is going to potentially get Terry Bagula to back off. I'm looking at the standings that are live here in real time, and the Sabres are still tied now for dead last with Ottawa and Columbus for the bottom of the conference. So even with these 3 straight wins on the road, they're at the bottom. But anyway, pretty much sounded like a formality as recently as 4 or 5 days ago with Tim and Matt's reporting that this was going to happen. I wonder if people are going to, sometime on Monday, if we're going to be talking about a Kevin Adams, I don't know, I want to say firing, but because I don't know if he's going to get completely fired, but I don't think he's going to be general manager anymore. Or I wonder if he gets a stay of execution because They're hot. Now, they don't play to Thursday, so the timing makes sense to do it Monday. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No. No, I'll give you. I'll fake it like your wife does. Stop kidding. Dad jokes galore, baby. Tim Graham said, I think I want to say he might have quote tweeted that he doesn't think that the end of this road trip was going to make an effect on if he's gone or not. So this may not matter. Yeah, I'm glad. It will be a nice, like, good, like, get the fuck, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like, thank God. But as long as Terry Pagula is like involved, it's going to be hard to like really like be optimistic. But yes, I hope he gets fired. We'll see what happens. I would rather talk as we go off into the sunset, and I'm commandeering the show once again, going to business. I want to know, what were your thoughts on John Cena's last match last night?
You were going to say that.
Yeah, because I don't give a shit about Terry Pagula and the fucking Sabres. Fuck them.
My thought was I didn't like it, but my also thought was, and I feel like we talked about it on the show. I predicted it. I said he was going to tap out.
I loved it. It made me hate Gunther. I watched it with my friend Sam, who lives down the street.
Crazy heat.
Crazy heat, and that's what it's all about, baby. Like it was great, and it was great how they did it. And he got Gunther. When you think about it, I know what you're saying. Like he's not established. Like he's established, but after he lost the title, he really didn't do much. Like after he lost it to Punk, he was off for like 3 months, and you got to heat the guy up, and this was a perfect way to heat this guy up. They all hated him, and like that's what you're supposed to do. That's wrestling is. It's a time-honored tradition. Look, John Cena, he's won this. I love this year. I don't care what the marks say.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed his heel promos. I know, like, it was a little bit like annoying at times.
Cena?
And, like, there was, yeah, I liked him as a heel.
Me too.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, like there were some. I mean, the internet.
It was dumb how he. I know, but he just.
Yes, it was dumb. It was
I'm not
dumb.
Be a heel no more. But that was dumb.
That was. I agree. That was dumb. But up until then, I was fine with it. I loved it. I thought him and Dom were great, and like he did what he was supposed to do. He got 2 great heels over, and that's what you're supposed. He's a face. And like, yeah, it would have been nice when he was a heel if he got someone over. He got Cody, but Cody was already over. But if he did something else, maybe if he gave him a stable and but like, I thought it was great. I thought the tribute was nice.
Someone in the live chat, because this is a comment that I've heard a lot of along the same lines. Anyway, Matt said Cena couldn't even sell the tap out to Gunther.
Because he was smiling.
He's a fucking mark. I will say that
he was smiling. Yeah,
I would have rather seen him pass out, kind of like Stone Cold did against Bret Hart. All those WrestleManias.
I was fine with tapping
out. The smile on the tap. It's like, hey,
the tap was
I didn't love that. I didn't love that.
Yeah,
specifically.
He definitely has a little bit of that. Like, I know it's fake. Like, so I'm gonna really talk about it being fake, kind of thing. Like, where
John Cena in the line.
John Cena's a fucking commie. We should just
Here's what I'll say though about Gunther. So yes, I think it elevated his heat. Like, he's going to run and become a bigger heel, and the heat's going to be hotter for him, and I like that. But kind of, I don't want to say lost in all this, but something that we're not talking about enough.
I think he's going to – go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say Gunther, forget about Gunther for a second getting heat. Triple H might be a heel after all this now because the fans fucking shit on him. They booed to hell. They said, fuck Triple H. They say, like, fuck Triple H or something live in the chat. Or the chants. They hate Triple H right now. Does Triple H play off that heat? Does Triple H start to develop a persona where, like, hey, I know more than you. Is that the best you got? Let's go, let's go, let's go. I could kind of see that a little bit with Triple H. I think he should lean into it some.
I don't, because he's done that. He was the authority for like 3-4 years. Like, it's kind of like, no, I wonder if they're just annoyed at him because at the end of the day, he does a lot of media, and he is the self-proclaimed ball washer. Like, he ball washes himself constantly about how great he is. And like
the gates, the gross money for the events.
But like I don't think and then like, we talked about this, like what's wrong with like it's kind of in a lull. I think pricing out fans is probably not great, and he does a lot of media where he's just like, I'm the man. And like the same thing with Tony Khan for AEW. Does the same fucking bullshit. Like sometimes it's like, look, don't fucking talk. Like shut the fuck up and book shit. But I wouldn't lean into it. Like that's kind of been overdone. I think here's my prediction. I think Gunther is gonna beat Cody. That's what they should do. Like Gunther's gonna beat Cody maybe at some point, but who knows? Because they might have Roman. They got to have a heel win the title at some point, like and take it like for a ride a little bit. Because right now you got two faces with Cody and Punk as your world champs. Someone has to die, and I would say like I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's great. I would like him as a heel, as the champ. That would be great. But you got to figure out something. What are you gonna do with Gunther? I don't know. But Gunther was like it's the follow up. Like, what are you gonna do with him? Like, are you gonna have him go against Cody? But Cody seems to be with Drew right now, or is he gonna?
Yeah. I think the angles are fine. I guess my disenchantment with wrestling now is it's just becoming too much business. It's about the money and nothing else. And
yeah, I mean,
I was just looking
annoying.
as you were talking. So SmackDown is coming to Buffalo on Friday, January 2nd. SmackDown, live SmackDown. I was just looking up prices. You know how much right now a seat with section 117 is, or 118?
What's that?
$300.
That's insane. That's insane for Buffalo. Yeah, it's insane.
Floor seats, I expected to see something crazy, and it's roughly the same. But
and it's SmackDown.
It's a SmackDown. It's a good 300 level seat, but still, 100 level seat. But it's at the end of the day, it's 100 levels. Now let me go to, even if I went to 200s. Yeah, man, 220, 230, 240. I like the days of being able to take. You got a toddler. The days of you being able to take your son, let alone maybe your wife as well, to a wrestling event that comes. Let's just say you were in Buffalo, man. You're talking if you want to get 3 relatively decent seats and a couple food items or whatever, you're going to be spending $700 to go to a wrestling event now. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I mean it's priced out. I'll also say this, and look, I don't mind. Like I'm going to get a little tiny political here. I think Hunter doing a lot of media, like being with Trump, probably doesn't help him, in terms. I don't mind, like, it's like, whatever, like, you got to kiss the ring, whatever, fine. But I'm sure there are people who aren't fond of that, hence the booze a little bit more, in terms of that. But that's just me, like, freestyling over here.
It's just they want to be like UFC. It's all about Gates and it's all about
I mean he's a Dana White, like it feels like he's a Dana White wannabe, and Dana White's not a likable guy. At least I don't think he's very fucking likable. But we'll see what they do. Like they have a lot of talent, and I don't know, like if I there's a point to where and also like that's the thing too. You talk about the money, like the ESPN app. Like I'm fucking not paying. Sorry, I'm not. I know you have it like your way, but I'm not paying fucking $30 to watch fucking wrestling. Like suck a dick. Like that's not happening.
I agree, man. I agree. All right, let's get out of here. Everyone late enough.
No, I mean I'm only like halfway through my beer. Someone asked me a question.
You better. Someone asked.
We got 3 minutes. Someone asked me a question. I don't care. Carlisto's talking shit, I think, about wrestling, which I'm not a fan of. You don't talk shit about wrestling. You get banned if you talk shit about wrestling on this fucking chat, buddy.
A question for Joe. What is your opinion on the show South Park?
I never got into South Park. It's so weird. I saw the movie where they went to war against Canada, and like randomly I saw it, and I never knew anything about the backstory, and I just remember a Blame Canada song. But no, I don't really have a fucking take on it, but everyone seems to love it. I know they make fun of politics and all that sort of shit, but that's not my jam. Who else wants to have it? I know Carlisto's got to have an opinion, or Tooch, or anyone. Aaron. Oh, someone asked a really funny question. Do I have a nickname for Joe DiBiase and Shope? It was you're not going to find it. You're too dumb to find it. If I have a nickname for Shope and DiBiase, I don't really have one. I'm going to workshop it though, because there's definitely potential with their names.
There's a fun fact. Well, by the way, shouldn't you be drinking your beer? You want to finish your beer before here, so maybe I need to talk so you could actually.
Yeah, why don't you talk? Go ahead.
There's a fun fact about Joe DiBiase. He's my cousin.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I told you this.
Yes, you told me like 17 times. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's my cousin. So you better be nice if you're going to come up with a nickname for him. I don't think people in the media. I don't think people get offended when you have nicknames like that. It's usually in some way, it's sort of a term of endearment when you're talking shit to at least some of these people. Anyway, I haven't watched any Bills content today. I've been busy since this game's over, so I had all these takes were my own takes tonight.
Oh, you didn't
steal any
listen
takes.
to Podfather's podcast. It was him and Jerry. I actually listened to it a little bit, but I was busy, so I couldn't take what they were saying, unfortunately, because I was busy, so I don't remember what they said. It's mostly because it's my fault. They're interesting guys, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm snuck. Sneaky ball washer, Ralph Wilson says for Sneaky Joe D. That's possible. I like the sneaky ball washer.
Joe's really good. Joe DiBiase is really good on Twitter. In terms of facts, I'm not talking opinions or takes. Nate's a takes guy. I'm a takes
pandering
guy.
Pat is pandering to Sneaky Joe right
Sneaky
now.
Joe is his really cousin. Good with having numbers.
His cousin, air quotes, everyone.
My cousin. All right, come on, man. We got to get out of here now. I got to get commercials. I got time limits and stuff like that. So he's finished with his beer. Anyway.
I can drink this while talking to you off the air. We can make fun of people.
No, because I'm going to let everybody know that. So this is it with Joe. Tomorrow's going to be a film day. I'm looking forward actually to watching a lot of the film. Go ahead.
Am I on this Wednesday?
No, probably not.
What? You're booking? I was on. It was the hottest Wednesday show of all time last week. It beat AEW Dynamite.
I don't know. I don't know. But
next week I'm in Rochester for our show, by the way, and the week after I'm in Buffalo for that show. So
I want to.
I'll be on you won't see Baxter the Cat behind me, sadly. But go ahead, take it home, buddy.
Tomorrow's film show, like always, I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch the All-22
show.
And then the next day, Wednesday, Matt Warren will be with me. We'll go through
Matt Warren the 7th. Matt Warren the 7th.
All right,
please.
Joe from Queens is officially muted now. You will not be hearing him. You can look at his face if you're still watching the video because I got to get out of here. But seriously, thank you so much for watching, for listening to the show. Film study and biggest takeaways from that tomorrow. Matt Warren coming up later this week. Maybe Joe, unless he pisses me off over the next few days. Thank you so much. Maybe Kevin Adams will be out as general manager sometime here tomorrow, or I guess today.